Hello my good fellas, why in The Godfather 2 did Michael Corleone exchange the life of Capo Rocco Lampone for the life of Hyman Roth? Is it plausible that Rocco Lampone was the traitor who sold out Michael and was involved in the Lake Tahoe assassination plot? Or is Lampone Michael's most devoted fella? Let's find out. My name is Ivan Piatouski and you are watching Vano VHS. To understand the question, we need to know Rocco's past. Who was he before he became the person we saw him in the film? Lampone was a sometime soldier who returns home with a purple heart after his leg was mangled. Rocco started his career as an associate under the regime of Peter Clemenza, having been hired because of a shortage of men. At first he functioned as Clemenza middleman, interacting with government employees supplying people with food stamps during the war. Successful activities in these sectors contributed to Lampone becoming a problem solver in the family. When Sonny ordered Poligato to be killed for tweaking an assassination attempt on Don, Clemenza concluded that this was the perfect moment for Rocco to make his bones. Rocco killed Poli with 3 shots to the back of the head, after which the famous quote was born: "Leave the gun, take the cannoli." Very soon after that, Rocco becomes a full-fledged soldier of the Corleone family, and Clemenza becomes his mentor. Rocco grew up very quickly in the Corleone family, notably by helping to eliminate the capos in the rival families during the war. On Don Vito's suggestion, Michael Corleone specifically hired him to establish a secret regime for emergencies and in preparation for Michael's ascension to the role of Don. Rocco, along with Alneri, were also privy to Michael's secret plan. In accordance with this scheme, Rocco subsequently gunned down Philip Tattaglia, and Lampone's men contributed to the wave of executions that reinforced Michael's authority. When the family settled in Nevada, Rocco, along with Alneri, chaired the Nevada branch of the family. Together, Rocco and Neri established the Corleone Murder Squad, a Corleone variation of Murder Incorporated. In addition, after the death of Peter Clemenza, Rocco became some sort of consigliere for Michael. He was also in charge of security at the Lake Tahoe compound. Nevertheless, he failed to foil the attempt to have Michael killed by 2 thugs recruited by his nemesis Hyman Roth. However, when the time came to carry out revenge on Roth, it was Rocco who came to the conclusion that it would be difficult but not impossible to eliminate him. And he was entrusted with the task, which, given his almost suicidal nature, seems extremely controversial. It is possible that Michael partially blamed Rocco for nearly being killed, and as a result sent him off on this case purposefully. Dressed as a reporter, Rocco narrowly approached Roth at Miami airport and fired a shot to the stomach. But even though confusion and chaos erupted, he was in turn shot by cops as he tried to get away with it. Now that we know what followed, we can speculate why Michael sent Rocco to his certain death, and was Rocco really involved in Roth's plan? If you, like me, adore the Godfather saga, I recommend reading the Godfather 50th Anniversary Edition. This book contains a new introduction by Francis Ford Coppola and a note by Anthony Puzo. It would make a great addition to your collection, or a great holiday gift. All links are in the description. To begin with, let's assume that Fredo single-handedly planned the assassination attempt on Michael, or at least followed Roth's directions precisely. It turns out that Fredo knew the mansion's blind spots beforehand. He would need to let the assassins into the property undetected. He then figured out the best place to shoot, where the angle of view would allow him to take out Michael without entering the room. Besides, he tiptoed into the bedroom and pulled back the curtains. Okay, let's assume. What's next? Next, Fredo waited until the shot ran out, met up with the gunman and got rid of them both at once. Does that sound plausible? Yes, in action movies some super agent is able to handle hordes of enemies with one 6-shot gun in his hand and without changing ammunition, but in reality it's hardly possible. considering that in the first movie Fredo dropped his gun and cried when the Godfather got shot. Fredo wasn't even capable of dealing with his wife, and what about experienced shooters? I think if Roth had signed Fredo on the case alone, it would have been more profitable to tell the shooters to kill Fredo when they were done with Michael, and that would be the end of it. That way, if he failed, Michael wouldn't know who was really behind the assassination attempt. Does it make sense? Remember when Fredo got the call from Uncle June, he was furious and blamed his masters for deceiving him. I think they really told Fredo that his job would be to open the curtains and that would be it. The experienced people would take care of the rest. So no matter what anyone says, I won't believe that Fredo acted alone as a part of Roth's scheme. Most likely the situation was as follows. Roth recruited Fredo and at the same time Rocco, with Fredo unaware of Lampone's involvement. Rocco made sure that Roth's men would enter Corleone territory unhindered, and shortly before that he figured out the best place to shoot. Remember, Rocco has a military background, and as we remember, when push comes to shove, Rocco's hand doesn't hesitate. When the shot ran out, Rocco was ready, so he easily got rid of the shooters. Why, you may ask, did Rocco betray Michael? Remember Michael's words, he once said, "All my people are businessmen." How is Rocco any worse? He clearly had ambition. Remember how fast he climbed the career ladder. There you go. Especially if Michael had been eliminated at the beginning of the film. It would have created chaos in the criminal world, which would have been the perfect opportunity for career advancement and a change of power. Michael probably guessed that Rocco was involved in the assassination attempt, and he couldn't forgive him 100%. He'd even killed his brother, so what about the underling? Killing Roth was the perfect chance to atone for his sins to Michael, and die like a man instead of getting shot in the back of the head. Rocco understood that, and Michael understood it too. The only thing that doesn't make sense to me is why did Michael take such a risky step? The authorities were well aware that Rocco was a part of the Corleone family. If you don't believe me, look at this picture, his name is clearly visible here. So, given the Senate hearings, Michael, you might say, was giving the authorities another chance to convict himself. It would probably have made more sense to send someone from the outside on the case, so that no strings would lead to the Corleone family. Neri, for example, could have made a deal with someone, to act as a buffer, so to speak. What do you think? Was Rocco really in cahoots with Hyman Roth and wanted Michael dead? Or did Michael make the mistake of sending a trusted ally to his certain death? Write in the comments. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss future Godfather videos. Support the channel by buying the Godfather merch. All the links are in the description. Make sure to watch the full Godfather playlist on the right. My name is Ivan Piatouski and you are watching Vano VHS.